Hello all, it's Jmix here, and I'd like all my YouTube subs and viewers to check out Benza'S new podcast called Fame is a Bitch. You can check out the first couple episodes if you hit this link right here, which will also be in the description, but I highly encourage you guys to get it on Google Play, get the app, tune in, and listen. For those who want the inside information on some of the most scandalous celebrity events, I think this podcast is going to be for you. So be sure to get it on Google Play and support Benza. Without any further ado, here's the next installment.
This is a Jmix exclusive.
And that caused some resentment. But a lot of people don't know that Interscope, the money that was put up to get him out wasn't Chug. It was Interscope. It was the rich businessmen who did that, not the young, tough black guy smoking cigars. That was a great image, but that's not what it was. So it's very different than what the public thought.
Please don't be offended by this question, but some people have attributed the article you wrote prior to the quad shooting where Tupac called Agna basically a hanger-on. Do you feel, like, what's your stance on that? Do you think that article got him shot, or do you think it was other business?
I've never heard someone put it to me in that respect. I got to be honest, and I'm one part. It's really weird to hear that. No one's ever put it to me like that. But no, I don't think that's it. I think it was a much bigger picture, and I think Tupac knew that. I know Tupac knew that. I know that he knew that, because if it was just about what I wrote, you best believe he would have been up my ass and barking in my face about what I wrote, and that's not the relationship we had. Really, the relationship we had was if he needed something written about him that would have helped him, he leaked it to me, and I wrote it, and it was all cool. He never came to me after an article and got pissed off and got angry. So I have no reason to believe anything I wrote got him in trouble.
I think maybe it's being falsely attributed to you. Some people have said that the shooting at the quad was a response to him publicly talking about his co-defendant, and I'm putting that in quotes. And I think the biggest article at the time was the one you've written. So I apologize. I'm not saying that on
don't apologize.
You're
that's
correct.
Fine. No, that's fine. I never. It's fine. You don't have to apologize. I've never had anybody approach me on that and say that. And, well, if it is true and if it shakes out that that's what happened, then I can't sit here and say, yeah, it's true, let's connect the dots. If it is true, of course I'd feel completely awful. But as a journalist, I didn't write anything false and didn't write anything wrong. What happens when people read the newspaper and how they react after they read a story is beyond a journalist's control. So, I'm not going to lose sleep over it. Obviously, I haven't in 20 some odd years, but I've never heard that. I've never heard that angle. I got to be honest with you. I appreciate you bringing it up, but I never heard that.
Where were you when you heard that he had been shot at the quad? I know that you visited him in the hospital, and he said something to the effect that he knew he was going to die.
I can't say, I can't remember exactly where I was, but I know, I'm in New York. I was under a huge deadline pressure every day to spit out 8 or 9 stories a day, and it was a very, very fierce time for gossip in New York. There was so many things going on beyond hip-hop, but I was really entangled in that. So I don't know where I was. I think I can blame that on my Percocet addiction and my drinking. I can't remember, but I know that once it happened and we spoke and I went to the hospital, he said to me point blank, without any equivocation, these ain't going to miss the next time. And I told you it was going to happen, and these are not going to miss the next time. And he was completely certain about that. It's not something his mother wanted to hear, or Mickey or me wanted to hear. But when you look back over the course of events and you know that he didn't wear a vest, he was in Vegas, there's so many things you go, oh, man. But he couldn't have changed the course of history because there were so many things against him with Reggie and the Death Row crew and how they were positioning people around exit areas and no walkie-talkies, and shit was going to go down that night, and he was going to get caught possibly in the crossfire. I don't think there's anything any of us could have done to stop that.
Do you, because it was, I mean, there was a media hyped East versus West Coast war. Do you remember hearing Hit 'Em Up for the first time?
Yeah, I do, and I thought that was a very crucial, I thought it was a very scary thing. There were so many things it was such a fruitful time in hip-hop, and there were so many things being reported and sent out on mixtapes, and I just remember it being like, it felt like every couple of days there was some new shit that was going to stir the pot and stir the wasp nest, and stuff was going to go bad. And that's why it culminated in the Source Awards, what was happening with Stoop and Dre and everybody. And I remember leaving that place. I've been in places where there's a guy with a gun and he's pointing at your face. I've been there. But that was the first time that I remember, putting my head down low and getting behind people in front of me because I thought, any minute now, it's going to be on and people are going to get shot up. I do remember hearing it for the first time, but I just knew that this is an ugly time in hip-hop. As great as it is, it's ugly and it's going to go bad. But I never thought it would be to that extent. I never thought it would culminate in Tupac and Biggie and others just getting mowed down like that.
Now, you yourself, you moved from New York to L.A., as was Pac did when he was released from jail. Do you think that this kind of isolated him from the people in New York who generally cared for him? Yeah,
I think I could, in a parallel universe, I think I can say the same thing about myself. People don't want to hear this. LA people don't want to hear this, but there is a definite difference in the insulation and the protection you feel from your New York friends. You do not feel the same thing with your LA friends. I don't give a what business you're in, where you're at. LA people are about success and moving up. New York people are much more into your protection and you loving you, and it's a different town. It really is different. So I felt very alone when I came out here, and I'm sure the same thing applied to him. And look, let's not forget, the Oakland dudes. I know Tupac told me early on that the way he acted with the Oakland dudes wasn't good enough for them. It wasn't good enough for the Bay Area bad guys. They wanted him to be better and tougher, and he didn't want to do that. He didn't feel that he had to do it. Matter of fact, I told you earlier, he didn't like to. If there was a fight, he would ball up and protect himself. He didn't like to be the guy that lashed out and struck first. Even though he said that, and all the all the audio clips of him are being like so loud and vicious, and not who he was really deep down. It isn't. He'd rather huddle up and take the shots and then try to reason with people afterward. I know that's drastically different than how he's portrayed, but that's really the Tupac I knew. Peace-loving, gang violence. That's not going to get us anywhere. Got to love each other. And if you really look at some of the best songs and raps he wrote, the common theme is love and understanding. And I think the dumber hip hop fans don't hear that chord and don't really focus on it. They focus on, blood and guns and beefs, but that's not really what he was deep down in his soul. It's not. And you just got to hope they get to it at a certain point and listen to all this and realize that deep down it was peace.
This is a Jmix exclusive.
What up, shut up?